Hello everyone. Hi, my name is Rajvi. I am a psychologist at Neurogen Brain and Spine Institute. Today we are going to talk about stress management for families of ALS and MND. I welcome you all to this talk on the day of ALS MND Global Awareness Day. Yes. Thank you. As I told you, I welcome you all to this ALS MND Global Awareness Day talk. It's a very important talk. Actually, it's a very small topic. It might seem really, not very important. But to the people who are going through that kind of a stress, it seems like a big deal, right? What exactly is MND? Now, MND majorly affects the brain and the spine and nerves at the same time, right? And which leads to atrophy, that leads to weakness, correct? It's a progressive condition. So the amount of emotional impact that a person with ALS or MND goes through is unbearable, right? But at the same time, the amount of emotional impact, stress, the caregivers and families also go through is unbearable. What exactly is stress here? So, stress is basically our response to all the challenges or all the demands that are to be met. So, it can either be positive or negative, right? Positive stress definitely leads us to work much better and to achieve our targets, goals, etc. It makes us want to wake up in the morning and strive for something that we want to achieve for long, correct? But there is something like negative stress. um, we'll look at how stress impacts us. Yes, and then I will slowly go to how we can manage it. Yes, we can manage it, and that's always a good news for us, correct? But before we try to manage it, we should know how it is occurring. Why is it occurring? Right? We should identify the triggers of it. What exactly are we experiencing? Because it's a very subtle thing that a person experiences. We might not even know what is happening in the in the brain or in the body system, but the way it impacts us is great. Correct? Not in a good sense, great, but definitely in a very affecting sense, great. Okay, so now first thing what you experience when you are having stress, it's anger that you experience. It's a frequent irritation, frequent annoyance that you have. It can be definitely towards ALS MND patient. It can either be towards your surrounding. It can either be towards definitely your medical support who is giving you, or doctors, or etc. Because you always want to know what happened, why it happened. Our major concerns lacks in why me, why us, right? That is exactly where our stress triggers from, correct? Now it is very obvious that when we initially get to know that a person from our family is having ALS or MND, it's very much obvious that we are going to feel some amount of discomfort, some amount of, there are going to be loads of questions in your head, correct? That's a very basic feeling that a human has. What can help at that time is to gain a complete knowledge on it. At times, stress can be managed when we have good knowledge on that subject. Okay, if we know it's a progressive condition, then we have a very realistic goal on how we want to move forward for it. Okay, this is one of the trigger, right? Second could be your lack of interest in many things that you are facing, lack of self care, lack of socialization. You want to isolate yourself completely. You just want to take care of them and do nothing about yourself or what others are around you, or how are they reacting to the same thing, right? It also affects your sleeping and eating pattern at the same time. So you might start observing yourself getting thinner, or getting gaining weight, or maybe getting a very disturbed sleep. So you have a difficulty in initiating sleep, or you have difficulty in maintaining that sleep. You might wake up in the half of your sleep. That are usual triggers that we face whenever we have stress. Definitely the major triggers are, major experiences are heart attack, depression, anxiety, personality disorders, etc., right? But right now we are just talking about the surface, and we do not want it to go that much further, right? We also have a lot of negative thought patterns that we see with it, correct? So we might feel that there is nothing that I am able to do about it. You might see lack of, me being able to do anything about it, lack of hope that you feel. Definitely, these are some things that you face on daily basis. There is also a lack of self-care in terms of what you wear. Initially, if you used to like to, go to walk or maybe do dancing or maybe, dress up for yourself, you stop doing that slowly, right? Because that is not your immediate concern. That is exactly what your brain tells you. That's not your immediate concern. That is exactly what you do not want to do right now. That's not the priority, if I put it in a simpler term, right? But it's a very important thing to being aware that you are having stress, correct? If you know that you are having stress, then it becomes very easier for us to deal with that amount of stress. Okay. uh, Financial concerns are one of the very major triggers which can also lead to stress, right? Not having enough, or not being able to provide your caregiver or provide your patient enough, that can also lead to immense stress, because we all know ALS will definitely need a lot of medical support, a lot of dietary changes, a lot of medications, etc, right? So that's the immediate thing comes to in our head after we try to learn about the whole what is exactly MND, correct? That how are we going to arrange these kinds of money? What exactly am I supposed to do after this, correct? Okay. Having no medical support. So if you live in a very rural area or somewhere that you don't have immediate access to any medical support, at that time also there is definitely a trigger for stress. Not having any emotional or social support can also be a trigger for you. So initially you might think that I am all good, I am surviving, and I'm doing the best that I can do for that person. I'm doing my 200%. Yes, that's all good, right? But in the end, you always want to have that kind of an emotional connect with somebody whom you can go to and speak to, because your patient, the person that you're taking care of, definitely you're not going to speak about your whole experience to them, correct? Because you don't want to already put them in the pressure that they are in right now, because they are feeling much more greater version of emotional impact than actually anybody else does, correct? uh, Apart from that, we can also have a lot of frequent disagreements, right? So constant, there is a disagreement on many things. You and your caregiver or you and your partner, etc., do not meet on the same ground, do not come on the same level. That is also when you have disagreements, and that can also cause to a lot of stress, right? Showing a lot of anxiety whenever you're going anywhere, you do not want to interact with anybody, are some of the major small things that you can see when you have stress, correct? Now I go immediately to know how we can manage those things, how we can manage those kinds of stress, right? This is something simple that you feel. It's okay for me to feel that kind of a stress. It's okay for me to go through that. It's just sometimes that I'm feeling that, later I won't. Once I get busy, I'm not going to feel that. Once I'm in the care of that person, I'm not going to feel that. No, that is not exactly what that happens. The stress that you're facing, even if it doesn't come consciously to you, it is affecting you somewhere on the subconscious level, right? So it is impacting your system within. It is impacting your sleep. It is impacting your heart rate. It is impacting your breathing rate. It is impacting on your sleep cycle, etc. Correct? It is having a major impact subconsciously, on a very subconscious level, correct? Which can then turn to a psychosomatic disorder based or psychosomatic conditions, right? A lot of stress can also cause a lot of headaches. You have discomfort in your stomach. You feel very lethargic the whole day. You do not want to do anything, or you are overcharged with the stress that you feel that, okay, I want to be everywhere. I want to be here, there, here. And in that process, you end up impacting your immediate environment too, correct? So then it is not only affecting you yourself, it is not only affecting the patient that you are taking care of, but definitely your immediate environment who provides you with support in the surrounding, correct? So what exactly can you do, right? First thing is, first, gaining full knowledge about it can really relieve the stress that you're having, correct? When we know the condition in a much better way, when we know what we are expected to do, what exactly is it, how is it going to be ahead, it becomes very easier on our brain that okay, now I know this, now I know how to go about it, right? And that is exactly what we want to do. We do not like being clueless, correct? We do not like being not able to do something, correct? So even some level of management, if we are able to do by knowing of how exactly can we put a support on this, how exactly is it progressive, and how are we going to go further on this, can really help, right? Taking help when required, right? At times, when we want to do 100%, we want to give 100%, we don't take the immediate help that we want, correct? So that comes in, for example, it's very necessary for somebody, maid or be it some helper, to be around you, right? To help you with everything that you are doing, because it takes a toll on your body, it takes a toll on your mental health, because you are not only looking on that patient's health, immediate health, but definitely doing a lot of daily routine. So basically they are whole completely dependent on you, right? So that makes you a bit stressful, and that is obvious to make you a bit stressful, right? So that is exactly when you have to ask for help when it's required. Take a help when somebody is offering you with an open hand. Yes, we do not have to prove that we are a superhero. We are simple human being, which requires a lot of care, compassion, requires a lot of help from surrounding. Okay. Second thing, what we can do is realistic goal setting. Now, goal setting is something that might seem okay, we know about this, right? But let me explain you a bit in a detail what exactly is goal setting and how we can go about it. For example, goals should be smart. Now, I know many of you who are from business background might be aware of the SMART goals, right? S being specific, M being measurable, A being attainable, achievable, R being relevant to your illness or relevant to your concern right now, and T being time bound. Correct? If you do not keep a boundary, or you do not keep a deadline to your goals, then it becomes very difficult for you to meet that kind of a deadline, right? Then you kind of go under procrastination, or go under facing a lot of stress and thinking about how to go about it, but not exactly taking any action for the same, right? So smart goals is a very important thing. Now, how do we set goals? For example, we have to keep in mind exactly what our patient or what our caregiver is able to do, right? And exactly, so we are supposed to set goals based on their immediate condition, right? So that helps us with managing our expectations also, correct? If our expectations are here and the patient is able to be over here, then it doesn't match, correct? It's a ladder that we are crossing to come on our major goal that we have for them. So basically, what am I trying to say is making short term goal is very important to reach towards a long term goal, but also setting our long term goal is a very crucial task. For that, we need to know the condition in a much better way. Will he be able to do this, or will she be able to do this? Will I be able to achieve that? Do I have enough time, money, resources, etc. to do the same thing? So everything comes in whenever you're setting a goal, correct, right? So short term goal, by that I mean you can set 1 month goal, 3 months goal, 6 months goal, and also divide those goals into weekly goals, correct? So that way you know what you have to work on, and then you will start taking action towards it, right? Or else when we just think about what all we have to do, the thought only makes us very exhausted and tired, right? We are anyway exhausted and tired because of many stressors that we are having due to due to your financial concerns, or be it due to your immediate environment, or due to the care that we have to take for that patient, correct? Yes. Another thing that we can also do is taking a time out for yourself every day, taking a time out for self, correct? It might feel like I'm just saying this, it's not easy for me to do it. It takes a lot. In the end of the day, you become very tired. But remember, you want to give your caregiver 100%, 200%. For you to be able to give that, you should have 100% capacity within you, correct? For us to maintain that kind of a capacity, it's very important to give ourselves some time, ourselves some kind of peace of mind for us to process exactly what is happening. At times when there are things happening very rapidly in front of you, you do not get much time to look back or to address what is happening, correct? Okay, so it is very important to know what is immediately to be addressed, what is to be addressed on a later part. So by that I mean priority setting, correct? Here the patient is definitely going to be completely dependent on you, or are on the verge of that. They are definitely not going to like being completely dependent on you, right? They also are having these thoughts. When you have reached certain amount, certain age, definitely you're going to have those thoughts, I do not want to be dependent on anybody. And when you feel this, that okay, you are suddenly feeling the weakness in your hands and your legs, you're not able to do something that you love, you're not able to go on a bike ride, or maybe eat on your own, maybe change clothes on your own, it takes a very much toll on them also, right? So being compassionate not only with them, but it also helps when you be compassionate with yourself, correct? Being a caregiver, being a family of them, when you be compassionate towards yourself, you are maintaining boundaries of what all you are able to provide, how much you will be able to give, right? Definitely we want to give everything that we can. We want to reach that 100% 200% expectations that we have set for ourselves. That is exactly where goal setting for not only them but for us also comes in, right? So goal setting for us is equally important. The people who are taking care of the MND patients, definitely for them also goal setting is very important. That am I being able to deliver this much? For example, if my long term goal is for the treatment of something, related to ALS, then definitely if I want to collect that much money for it, what's my first goal for it? What's my second goal for it? What's my 1 month plan, 2 month plan, 3 month plan? That is exactly how we build on our expenses. For our expenses, it's easy to form a goal, correct? But when it comes to a larger thing on how you want to move forward, go with therapies or go with medical support, to be able to give them or to be able to make them do it, it requires a lot and lot of practice, correct? Journaling is another thing that can help with a lot and lot of stresses that you're feeling. That is writing down the thoughts that you are having at that time, correct? In the end of the day, usually journaling is recommended, that because each and every day you are going to face some different kind of stressors, correct? So when in the end of the day, when you have a whole 10 minutes to yourself where you can go back to how your day has been, where you can just vent out, because at times we don't have anybody to vent out, correct? We don't have anybody whom they can understand what exactly we are going through, because definitely they are not going through the same thing, right? So that is exactly when journaling can really help, because nobody else has to understand whatever experience that you're having. But what helps over there is you trying to put out everything that you're feeling from within, correct? Okay. Another thing that can help is uh, grounding techniques. That is, firstly, one of the grounding techniques that works best is nature based techniques, right? Where you move outside, where you just take a 10-minute walk in the breeze, you just let the air flow in. Do not take your phone with you, do not take your music with you. Just be there, just be present. If you feel that not having phone or not having music or not having any kind of distraction at that time might make you feel more anxious, you can definitely rely to songs, soft songs, but definitely not scrolling on phone and walking, because that can lead to another amount of stress, because you are reading on many things that are happening on the social media. Your history is definitely fed with complete information of MND, and definitely also the negative parts of it, right? And also something which is not reliable, not important, not even true, correct? So that can make you more stressful. So giving yourself some break from the phone, from the screen time, can also help you at the same time, right? Firstly, but being aware of the condition can help you on a greater deal, right? When you have a movement break, right? For example, there's just a song going on, and when you just move your body, stretch your body, at that time also it can release your stress in a greater level. having a daily bath or hot water bath can really help you with that. If you like certain kinds of scents, if you like certain kind of taste, if you like certain kind of touches, you can have that kind of a thing around you, correct? So that the amount that whenever you're going to feel the stressor, you can immediately rely on those things, correct? At times even the smell of some coffee or smell of fragrance can make your nerves calm down. Yes, it is having an immediate impact on your physiological response, which in the end makes you happy, or at least calm down, and helps you function better on a daily basis. Okay, so priority and boundary setting along with goal setting also comes in place. We have to be very careful on what all are we able to provide, what are we are not able to provide. At times even MND patients can get very hopeless on their condition, that I do not want to do this. If this is going to lead me over here, then why do I even try? Why do I even bother to give it a try, right? So at that time you have to make sure that you put that kind of a boundary over there, then no, this is something that you have to try. Some amount of motion is very important for you to do it, correct? Okay, so that kind of a talk, bringing them into rationalization can really help. But when will you be able to bring them into a rationalization? When you are mindful, when you have introspected about introspected yourself of how you are facing this, how you want to go about it, what is exactly helpful, and how is it causing stress or anxiety or feelings within me. Okay, so I hope you are taking something back from whatever I have said right now. It is something basic that you have heard on a daily level, yes, but when you apply it, you get to know the impact or the effect of it. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and it was great having a talk on this day with you. Thank you.